Within Business One, there are a number of reporting tools. For example, there are canned reports, Crystal Reports is built into the product, or you can create your own reports using the Query Wizard or the Query Generator. However, another reporting tool that many of you may not have heard of is called Drag and Relate. And Drag and Relate allows you to create simple queries on the fly. If I look at my main menu within Business One, there's the modules, and then there's also a tab called Drag and Relate. And as I mentioned, Drag and Relate is an on-the-fly query tool that will allow you to access data very quickly. And you'll see it's broken out by different areas of functionality, for example, financials, sales, purchasing, business partners, inventory, production, and service. If I were to open up one of these folders, for example, sales, I can see within here I can look at different characteristics. For example, I could look at sales quotations or sales quotation details. Or let's take a look at AR invoices, and very quickly I have a list of all of my AR invoices. Now it's just raw data of which I could sort very quickly, or I could export this to Excel through the drill back capabilities. If I want to look at a particular invoice, I could drill back and access the particular invoice associated with the transaction. And there's the invoice. In addition to that, I could also use Drag and Relate to get to further pieces of information. For example, if I look at Earthshaker here, and this is where the name comes from, I can click on the vendor code and I can drag and relate and look at AR invoice, and I now have a list of all of Earthshaker's invoices. Again, I could look at open versus closed if I wanted to, and if I want, I could use this filter in the lower right hand corner to, like the name implies, filter my data. Or maybe I'm interested in the types of things that Earthshaker is buying from me. So again, I can use Drag and Relate, and rather than look at AR invoice, I'm going to look at AR invoice details. And now I have a list of everything that Earthshaker has ever bought from me. Okay, so that's pretty helpful. For example, I could use this to maybe upsell a customer. If I notice that they're buying printers from me, but they're not buying printer paper or toner, I may look at this list and try to figure out why they're not buying those items from me. The other thing I can do with Drag and Relate is that I'm looking at a particular item here, and I can go not only just on the sell side, but also on the buy side. So for example, I'm looking at the A8 printer, and I can drag and relate, and I now have a list of who I've bought that item from in the past. So very nice, simple access to data. Or another thing I could do is maybe I want to know who else is buying that A8 printer. Maybe I need a reference customer, so I can drag the A8 and again go to AR invoice at the header level, and I now have a list of all the customers that have ever bought that product from me. So I hope this short video gave you an overview of what Drag and Relate is. Again, it's an on-the-fly query tool that allows you to access information from across the organization very quickly. I also recommend that you take a look at another presentation I'm doing on how to use user-defined fields in conjunction with Drag and Relate.